Alrighty, let's do this. About 10 years ago, I saw this video. And so did millions of other people around the world. The Louisville Leopard Percussionists brought a strange sense of pure joy to me. A bunch of kids in Kentucky jamming out, playing Led Zeppelin songs I thought I was weird and out of my time for liking, and playing them with fire in their bellies. I knew this was something I loved, and something I wanted to understand better. I think, to be honest, I was just psyched to see all these different kids having a blast playing music together, with total authenticity. They weren't trying to be cool, but they definitely were being. So 10 years later, when we got to planning this show, I sent an email to Diane Downs, the music teacher responsible for this fabulous noise, and asked if we could come and say hi. We didn't know then just how generous she'd be, connecting us with former members of the group, their parents, their teachers, and letting us come meet the current leap of leopards and listen to them play. We hoped we'd find out the secret behind getting young people working together to be so awesome, and also what's in it for them, how playing music with each other improves their lives, helps them grow, and informs the adults they become. My name's George Reese, I'm glad you're here. Let's rock!
Well, how can you not be happy playing music, you
Absolutely.
know? That brings out the good in everybody.
I want pizza.
Give me a hot dog.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a traditional cowbell Latin groove.
I learned like a ton of stuff.
I have no clue. Everything's cool.
Is it more fun to play loudly or softly?
Softly.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd say that.
It's how that you're paying attention and you're matching the rhythm, because if it's loud you can't hear the melody and it will just break the drum.
Do you want to be a professional musician one day, do you think?
Yes, but also I want to be a doctor or a vet or a nurse or a doctor who works like with babies. I also maybe want to be an artist.
I remember when I was a little kid, I liked two things most of all, singing and football. It does seem like music has stuck with me.
For me, I think the music angle was putting our children, putting their feet into the right sort of pot to grow happily in an environment that they enjoyed.
So it wasn't a feeling that you'd sort of read in a book, kids need music lessons, and so you say, oh, we must give them music lessons. You just saw that we liked it.
Absolutely.
When you went to your junior school, everyone did sport and everyone did music. As you got older, music became something that you chose to do.
Yeah. You were very comfortable in that situation. It brought out the best in you.
But music is often seen, I think it's fair to say, as a supplement to education, rather than being central like maths, science, language. Can kids be fine without ever doing music at all? To understand more about how music impacts development, we visited Gothenburg University to speak to Cecilia Björk, a senior lecturer in education and former music teacher whose research focuses around how young people use popular culture, and particularly music, to build meaning.
You got loads of different skills that you train with music. If you are supposed to learn to play, you need to learn how to listen. And this is something that we don't always do today in today's society, because we have so much sounds all around us. In a way, we learn to filter away sounds, especially maybe in an urban environment. But when you learn to play music, you need to listen in on others, and you need to concentrate really well on when's my part, you know. And that's something important in children's development. And then you got the social aspect, of course. If you look at the evolution of music and cognition, hypotheses that the overarching function of music is social cohesion, social bonding. A society without music, without that means of putting us together in a way, will be a lesser society in a lot of ways.
The opportunities were there, so our contribution was to allow you to go somewhere where you had the opportunity.
I think that was a natural thing for a kid to do, find something they're good at and just roll with it.
If we're talking about opportunity to engage with creative things, Louisville, Kentucky doesn't exactly leap off the map as a particularly remarkable place. In fact, it's more famous for its bourbon, baseball bats, brisket, horse races, and fried chicken than for music.
Kids love Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Despite being the most populous city in the so-called bluegrass state, it's not even particularly known for that style of music. So I doubt we'd be here if not for Diane Downs, who's made it her mission for more than 30 years now to provide that opportunity to kids from all over the city and from all kinds of backgrounds.
I didn't plan on any of this, this leopard stuff. I was teaching 2nd and 3rd grade, and I found a bunch of instruments in a closet. Teaching full-time and doing leopards, it's kind of like not about building musicians, it's kind of like building humans, good humans that get along with people. Because it's important to do things like this and to be part of a team. And, there's some kids that, they're not sports kids, Like I never did sports, I really didn't care about it. But I always did music, so, there needs to be places for us music geeks too, They know the good players, the strong players, and the ones that need more help. Yep. And they're real good about going and helping their friends, and it's not like they're not, I play better than you kind of thing. It's not like that at all. They're all, oh, let me go help them, let me. So if they can learn how to do that now in this group, because when they get to be grown-ups, there's adults, they all have different gifts, and we all have to learn how to work together and learn how to be a good leader. And that's kind of what I want them to do.
I think this issue of synchronizing with others when you are performing at a concert or you're in a competition, things are at stake, right? You heighten your concentration together to get it right. The fact that you have an intersubjective focus, you are really focused on the same thing. If your focus is on yourself, performance may be a burden and a strain on you, but if the focus is on, in this case, the music, then it becomes enjoyable, I think.
And it seems like such a good allegory for empathy.
Definitely, I'd say so. That you have a responsibility of doing your part and doing it right. That has to do with empathy, yeah, I agree.
So when you get out into real life, you don't strive for mediocrity. You put out you put out your very best, and then you get good stuff. And sometimes it's a pile of money, and sometimes it's just fun. You get to meet people and go places, and do cool things. Like when that Zeppelin video went viral. Jimmy Page shared that video. He didn't have to do that. He just shared the video. Too good not to share. Have a rockin' weekend. That's what he said.
David Williams was in that viral video, and he's now about done with college in Nashville and preparing for a career as a professional drummer.
I was in maybe 5th grade when we recorded the Led Zeppelin mashup video.
So you're like 9, 10 years old, 11?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
That sounds about right. It was definitely a state of disbelief, like there's absolutely no way so many people can be seeing this thing. All of a sudden, news websites all over the world are talking about it, and my family going, we added 3 more views today, and me going, Mom, I don't think it matters that much, we're at 3 million. It was really, really something I'll never forget. And then, of course, the gigs that would follow were just, insane and invaluable now in terms of informing my professional career. There's so many benefits to my experiences from the Leopards. I would say confidence is definitely up there, because I was forced to go out and play solos on the vibraphone when I was in 2nd grade. I didn't know what I was doing, but they said, just go out there and have fun and do what you do. And now I don't get nervous for solos anymore.
I think the kids really learn how to work together from all different places and spaces, different schools, backgrounds, all of that.
Tiffany Robinson's kids, Quincy and Olivia, both grew up through the whole Leopards experience as well, and she herself was on the board for many years.
They really learn just to come together from a completely blank slate. There's no music to take home and practice at home. It's just going through the motions, learning the songs together, setting up, tearing down. The older kids will learn a song, or the more experienced kids, and they will teach the others. She'll say, teach the person next to you how this works. I think how that translates into adulthood, at least in what I've seen with my kids, is just they don't have a fear of speaking in front of people. They don't have a fear of taking on a challenge. If they're told no, they'll figure out a way to get a yes.
It was enormously important. It opened up confidence. It opened up lots of fun. It allowed you to achieve and feel good about yourself.
I want each generation of kids that go through to have their rock star moment, You know, I want them to be, you know, recognized in the Walmart with their leopard shirt on. You know, because when they get to have that, like I work hard, I practice, and then this really good thing happens to me. Things show up and opportunities show up and, you know, like you coming along. It's like, oh, this will be great. I need this group of kids to have their rock star moment. So it'll come. You know, it's like, I could tell it's coming because it's like sliding down the hill. It's about halfway down the hill. It hadn't gotten all the way to us yet, but it's on the way.
And with that, we were on our way to rehearsals, to meet the kids, and to hear some primo percussion.
Okay, so starting with these two rows, so right here we have vibraphone, xylophone, bell kit, the marimbas are our biggest ones. Drum set here, timbales, really fun to play. Then we have bongos, 2 keyboards, drum pad, the basses, the guitar and all the amps. Our toy tower with all the musical blocks and all our shakers and stuff. Congas here, you get your hands moving. It's called the vibraphone because, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a pedal right here. And when you play a note, this felt comes down and it vibrates, and once you lift it up, the sound stops.
Do you have a favorite instrument to play out of everything here?
Probably the vibraphone.
Probably vibraphone.
My favorite instrument is 100% the vibraphone.
I would say bass guitar. Everybody gets a chance to do what they want to do. If you want to solo, they'll give you a chance to solo. If you want to play a specific instrument, they'll give you that chance. That's what's so great about this group. They give everybody an opportunity.
Diane and the team here really make a point to bring kids from all over the city, lots of different backgrounds, socioeconomic levels, races, you know, sort of gender identities, all sorts of stuff in this group. It's amazing how they support each other.
I think we all learn how to be a team too.
They don't like push on you to learn stuff. If you don't learn it the first day, that's okay. They'll teach you the second day, and students can go to other students to get information.
So about playing songs, how we learn them is learn, listen, and like play. So what they do is they play it for us, and then we repeat it for them, and we keep doing it over and over until we get it. You just repeat the pattern. It's very easy.
They are sponges. It really doesn't take any sort of watering down. I can just say a Mixolydian scale is a major scale with a lowered seventh, and they're like, oh, cool, you know, and that's that.
You have to be ready to put your everything for it. Like when I first started, I could not remember a single note, but now after like they just teach you over and over and over, and they like, I don't know how it's done, but I just learned everything, and I feel like I just learned it. I don't know.
We're looking for kids like, can you share? You know, what kind of attitude do you have? You know, is it, if you make a mistake, are you gonna like crumble in a ball, or are you gonna go, and try again? You know, some of these kids come in and they're just, I can do anything. You know, all the confidence in the world. Let me play it, let me play it. I told you about Lucy. She wants to stay on the back row, play that bass line. That's all she wants to do. Lucy's a good musician. One time she came up, she says, I think I want to play on the front row. Come on up. I don't think she played a solo. She came up to the front row and, you know, yep, let's do it. And then that was enough. It's like, okay, I'm going back in. Going back to my favorite spot. And, you know, I've had people tell me, no, you need to push the kids and, you know, get them out of their comfort zone. Well, sometimes when you take people out of their comfort zone, that's not comfortable, and that doesn't really do what you need it to do for them. It depends on the kid. You know, some of them you gotta push them real hard, and some of them don't push too hard because, you know, they're doing all they can. Sometimes it's good to take those kids that are so hard on themselves and teach them, see, it's okay to make a mistake. Let's try it again.
So Diane introduces music as something that is very fun, and also something that is to be taken very seriously. Let's play a cool song. Okay, how does the melody go? And then she'll put like a phrase to it. I want pizza, give me a hot dog. I want pizza, give me a hot dog. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, that's like a traditional cowbell Latin groove. So, and then we don't even really know that we're doing these challenging parts, but we're doing them and it's fun.
Fun, really fun.
It's all really fun.
I didn't understand how much fun it is to learn new things and how I loved playing music, how I just loved how music felt in my body.
You know, I'll put like a hand motion or a sort of affect on what I'm saying. So I'll say, you know, what's the scale that I'm playing right now? And the kids will go, Mixolydian. And it's so sassy, but you know, they're excited to say it that way.
Our teachers are really great.
Chromatic.
They're really nice. They really do actually help us with songs.
Hold on.
Maybe after I'm done, I'm probably gonna come back and start teaching because I want to live with this group, and I really like this group and the experience that they give to people.
On my first year, I was really nervous, but over time, it's been less nervous to know that there's a whole bunch of people there that want to see us, and they're not just there.
Once everybody just gets the feel of the group, we all just locked in together. If you ever listen to a song and it sounds pitch perfect and everything, that's what it sounds like.
Music is just a part of who we are. And so I couldn't see any of my kids not doing music in some shape, form, or fashion, regardless of whether they were gifted and talented in it. I think there's just something that just music possesses that speaks to the heart and speaks to the human nature of individuals.
Why is music perceived as fun? Because it engages us. It engages our body. It engages our mind, our senses. And if we do something like this together, it becomes even more sort of intensified. Music and the arts on a broader scale are often seen as, just entertainment or something fun that you can do for relaxation and so on. But from my point of view, music is much more basic for our evolution as a species, but also as individuals.
I kind of feel like we're circling around the same conclusion we ended up drawing in episode 2 of this series, that while music isn't itself some kind of magical thing, it is a pretty brilliant thing in a lot of ways. It's giving these young people a chance to explore and build their skills, to learn how to step forward and take space with confidence, but also how to support each other in turn. Perhaps more importantly than anything though, it gives them the chance to meet each other, to hear from each other, and to practice collaborating in trying to do something together that's bigger and cooler than any of them could do alone. Once a year they play their big gig at the Brown Theatre, a huge venue in the heart of the city. And on top of that, Diane's always looking for ways to give the kids special experiences, special moments. Their trip to a jazz festival in New York was covered by HBO in a documentary in 2006. They played Crazy Train for Ozzy Osbourne himself in 2018 on his A&E Network reality show. And when we reached out to feature them in our show, Diane's response was just like, yeah, let's make that happen. I don't know if it made her already busy life any easier that week, but she said yes anyway. I think it's easy as a society to let things like music take a back seat, to put our time and energy behind more important things. But when we take a yes attitude, when we allow ourselves to actually try at something, there's basically nothing more worthwhile than finding the time and space in our lives to work hard on beautiful, fun things, especially with good people around us, no matter what our age. So I summoned up the courage to ask if I could join in, and guess what? They not only let me, but insisted I take a solo. What a rock star.
If I died tomorrow, I would feel good about what I left. We've been able to reach a whole lot of kids and try to change who they are for the better, with tolerance and acceptance. The music part, that's cool, but the main goal is just creating good humans.
We seriously hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks, of course, to Diane and the entire Leopards family. It was a pleasure to meet you all and have such fun playing with you. More than ever in these videos, we're excited to hear from you in the comments below about your experiences playing music as a kid or as an adult or at any time in your life. Do you think it changed you? Do you think it helped? Did you have fun? We'll be reading and replying to them all, so let's get chatting. And please, while you're there, don't forget to click all the positive buttons, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and we'll all be here having fun for the next episode very soon. And we'd like to shout out once again our partners in making this series, Kilohertz. If you're a young person and you want to learn more about music production, audio effects, and how to manipulate sound in your computer, go and check out kilohertz.com. One of the cool things about Kilohertz is how they break down the audio effect into the basic building blocks. There's like delay, filter, distortion, just little things that if you put them together, you can build more complicated stuff. It's a great way to learn. And if you go to the Kilohertz YouTube channel, you'll see some videos with this guy in them. So obviously you wouldn't want to miss that. Thanks once again for watching. We'll be back soon.